Years ago, I found myself hitchhiking just north of Richmond, Virginia. The sun was beating down on me, well over 100 degrees, and I was sweating like a pig, my thumb lazily sticking out, hoping for a ride. I wasn't in any real rush, but man, the heat was unbearable. Then, out of nowhere, a car pulls over, and two dudes inside wave me in. I toss my bag in the trunk and slide in. We start talking, and it turns out they're heading to a friend's place to, of all things, shoot guns. Naturally, I ask if they'd mind a random, homeless-esque guy tagging along. They look at each other. Then the guy driving smirks and says, "Hell, just pretend to be my cousin from Seattle." I'll admit, I was a bit taken aback. Pretend to be a cousin? I was wearing ragged clothes, smelled like I'd been living in the woods for a week, and probably had dirt on my face, but hey, why not? At that point, sitting by the side of the road in the sweltering heat wasn't really an option, so I figured I'd roll with it. Fast forward, and instead of sweating it out on the highway, I'm now standing on a random piece of land that, judging by the rundown truck in the yard, could have been the set for a horror movie. And what am I doing there? Eating greasy hamburgers, firing off guns, and blowing stuff up with bags of Tannerite. The catch? This wasn't just any random property. It belonged to some guy who worked for the Department of Defense. I had no idea who these guys were or what they did, but damn if I wasn't having the time of my life. As the day went on, I learned that the land was some private woodland property, far removed from any prying eyes. It wasn't long before I was holding an assault rifle, taking shots at targets, and feeling the shockwave from explosions that sent pieces of old furniture flying through the air. And there I was, in the middle of nowhere, feeling like I'd somehow wandered into a bizarre action movie. All because I decided to take a ride with a couple of strangers. So, yeah, instead of a dull, miserable day by the highway, I ended up pretending to be someone's cousin and blowing things to pieces on a DoD employee's property. You just never know what'll happen when you take a ride from two random dudes.